Welcome back to Living Local. Many kids learn better when the lesson is approached in a creative way. That's what the Creative Arts Academy of the Quad Cities is all about. And one man values this resource so much that he's turning a cross-country bike ride into a journey that's giving back to this local arts academy. Joining me in studio, we have Will Wolf. He's the one who's cycling across America for the Creative Arts Academy. And then we have Joel Franken. He is the director of the Creative Arts Academy. Guys, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you. Thank you for giving us the opportunity.
Definitely. Okay, so Will, what gave you the idea to do this bike ride across the United States in the first place?
So it's always been a lifelong dream to bike across the country. And it's at this point in my life when I thought about Walter Payton, whose quoted statement was, "Tomorrow is promised to no one, and so why not now?" And as I started to think about the bike ride, my wife said, "Why don't you get something and do something with it, fundraising, and something that you feel passionate about?" And as soon as she said that, the first thing that came to my mind was Creative Arts Academy. They have the values, the passion, youth education and art, and so it was just a natural right away. That's where we're going to go with the fundraising.
What connected you to the Creative Arts Academy?
So Joel and Diane have been my neighbors for 13 years that I've lived here, and I've always been interested in the arts. Part of my first photography assignment was to do an inanimate object that I was emotionally attached to, and so
that I was going to mention the panther in the room. I forgot to.
The Pink Panther was my first photography assignment.
Huh.
So I've always had an appreciation for art and how art can also impact you in looking at business situations. And so again, it fits natural with the Creative Arts Academy.
Very cool, Will. So how will you be raising money along your bike ride?
So right now we're launching today on social media, Facebook, there'll be a couple blogs. We have a website. www.CAA for CAA, so it's Cycle Across America for the Creative Arts Academy. So that's going out. We're sending out some email blasts this morning and just starting to create the awareness program, and this is part of it.
Absolutely. So do you have a goal, a monetary goal for this trip?
Yeah, so we're trying to raise $100,000.
Wow.
So that's what we're shooting for. We'll already get, like I say, we'll start to see the thermometer rise this weekend, and the ride starts May 17th.
Wow, that's so exciting, Will. So I'm a cyclist myself, not a serious one, just a total recreational, but I love cycling. I cannot imagine biking across the entire country. So tell me about the details of your trip.
So there's a great website out there. There's a great organization called Adventure Cycle Association. They do a lot to promote across the country bike trails and routes. And one of the things you can do is download their app. And when you download the app, you can actually pinpoint on a map where you're biking from and to. And so it helps you then plan out your trip. It'll tell you the miles you're doing that day, the elevation gain and loss. And it also has sites on there for hotels or campgrounds or places where you can get your bike fixed if needed. So in conjunction with that and listening to people, I have some great friends here in the Quad Cities, Dave and Denise Hausler, who are avid bicyclists who think of nothing but doing 150 miles a day. So depending on them and other people pulling them in to do research and just understand, it's going to make it a little bit easier to accomplish it, I think.
Right, you've got your ducks in a row, it sounds like. Yeah. Now, Joel, you have been on the show before to educate us about the Creative Arts Academy. Remind us, though, what are you on a mission to do?
Well, we're on a mission to have great opportunities for our kids to be more creative and to get themselves ready with projects that they do in the school that are very authentic and very world active. And that's, this is actually our second interview. The first interview that Will went through was with our own students yesterday, and they put him through his paces, asked him a lot of questions about what was going on, because they're preparing some videos that will accompany Will and on the trip and will help the social media aspect of it. So they were preparing questions for him, filming him yesterday. So it's also an experience that our kids are going to get out of this trip, as well as our 8th grader ambassadors who are going to be the Wolf Pack and sort of monitor Will as he goes from Anacortes, state of Washington, Anacortes, Washington, all the way through Minneapolis down to Quad City, where it would be about halfway on the trip, and we'll have a reception here for him, and then he'll head out to Baltimore, which is Will's hometown.
The Wolf Pack. That's so creative because it's Will Wolf. You get it, Wolf Pack.
Yep.
Okay. And you're creating a learning opportunity for the kiddos. What does that mean to you?
Oh, just wonderful. You know, again, back to my experience doing photography has helped me see things that normal people wouldn't see, and it forces you to look for different solutions. And so I think anything that you can do, art will apply to the real world and helps people see the solutions in another way. So that's part of it.
Yeah.
And Joel, what does it mean to you and Diane to have Will be doing this bike ride to benefit your Arts Academy?
Well, it's really fantastic that we've, you know, touched a nerve of somebody in our neighborhood and somebody in the community that would extend themselves like this. And you know, one of the questions Will asked us, you know, what would you do with this money? And so, you know, we scratch our heads and we say, well, there's many artists in the Quad Cities that we can bring in to talk to our students and to share their stories with our students, plus certainly equipment and materials that we can use, because a school like ours is always in need of funding, and the arts have a tendency to be sometimes cut in the schools first, and so we've got to keep our school on the cutting edge, and we're just really happy that Will is agreed to do this, and we're thrilled, and our students are very thrilled about it too.
And Will, how can people stay up to date on your travels?
So there, of course, the website, CAA for CAA. Then there'll be constant updates in Facebook, as well as some blogs that the students are creating. So it'll be contact between us and the Wolfpack that we will keep everybody up to date on the progress that we're making.
Well, it's great that you're doing this to give back. And Joel, if people out there are on board with the mission of the Creative Arts Academy, what ways can they get involved and support your mission?
Well, they can also come and tour our new facility, which is brand new this year. We're in our 5th year. And of course, we have the Creative Arts Academy of the Quad Cities has a website also, which will then tune into the one that we're having for fundraising. But just give me a call at the Academy if they'd like to come and take a tour of our new facilities. We'd love to show it off. It's 25,000 square feet of art classrooms, and our staff is just very ecstatic at the facilities that we have, that we can offer things to students that we've never been able to do before.
That sounds great. Joel, Will, thank you guys so much
Thank
for
you.
being here. We appreciate it.
it.
And Pink
Thank
Panther,
you.
we appreciate your time as well.
Thank
All
you.
right, for more information, you can visit CAA4CAA.com. We'll also have those details posted on our quadcities.com. More Living Local returns right after this.